welcome. And I have been lacking on the schedule. Um, whoops. And by that, I mean I have an explanation. I have taken on a responsibility that has pulled me away from all of this and has made it very difficult to continue the schedule. Now, I will still make an attempt. Right now, what I'm getting is Wednesdays and Fridays-ish. Not so much Mondays anymore, but I am trying. So, uh, essentially, I got a dog, another dog. I have two, but they're not young, and this dog is. So she is taking a lot of energy and time and, just a lot away from doing this. I've also been um, going out more with family as, uh, this month has come to an end. So it's a lot of just not being able to have the, like, time and scheduling, but I'm still trying. Right now, I'm kind of sort of getting Wednesdays and Fridays, which is usually, like, a talk about something day and a gaming day. This week I did not. I got Friday, and that was it, and, um, I I mean, that's as much as I got. Because and let me preface this, all of my dogs have always been rescue. I don't buy dogs. I don't not like people who buy dogs. You want a specific breed of dog, go for it. Um, I don't support breeders though, so I'm just putting that out there. But anyway, all of my dogs have been rescue, and so was this new dog. She's relatively young, like I said, so she takes a lot of time. She's not potty trained yet, so she can't be in here, which means I can't be in here. So um it's taking a lot away from this, but she was unable to be cared for by the people who had her, unfortunately, and so they entrusted her to me, and so she's my dog now, and so I've had to take care of her and, do all the training because she hasn't had any training, and at like a year-ish old, that's kind of a difficult thing to do. Um, she also has a lot of, like, steps until she is, like, I don't want to say, like, perfect, but, like, ready, I guess. Like, all the steps you would have to do for a puppy. She's not like a puppy, by the way. She is relatively big. She's just like a year and a half old, and that makes her still very young, especially compared to my other dogs, which are well over a year old. So that's what I've been doing, and I figured since puppy is on the mind and dogs are on the brain, and I have had multiple breeds of dogs, I might as well talk about having a puppy because I I kind of I don't think people understand quite understand the responsibility and the time and effort you have to put in to raising a dog. Um, so I figured, why not? I mean, the first thing that you have to do, it depends on the kind of person that you are and, your lifestyle and whatever. Um, I potty train, which means they go outside. And so that is a time-consuming thing. When I first got her, uh, it was every 30 minutes unless she was sleeping. I took her out every 30 minutes. And then, it was an hour, and now it's like 2.5 hours, I believe. And it's just slowly ramping up. That way I can get her on schedule, and um we me and my dogs can like live go back to living the life we have been, which is very schedule based. Um Another thing is like shots, and if you want to spay and neuter, it's it's not as much money as people would like to have you believe, where it sounds like it's in the thousands of dollars, and maybe for some dogs it is, but at least for this dog, it's probably like $200-300 for a spay and neuter and all the shots, and she's getting her nails trimmed as well, but that's like $15. Point is, it's not as expensive as people would make you believe, but it is still very expensive. And if your dog is touchy with their nails, like they don't want you to cut their nails and you have to take them somewhere to do that, you need shot records. And so self-administered shots don't really work for that, as far as I know anyway. So that's, you know, but the point is, I don't think people understand how much time is like put into a dog. Even into cats. I think cats are way more lax. I've had one cat in my entire life, so, maybe uh not like the authority on this. I'm not the authority on dogs either, but like I have more experience with them is what I mean. But I think it's easier with cats because you don't have to put as much time and effort into cats as you do dogs, unless they have medical conditions, of course. But with a dog, no matter what, you're putting a lot of effort into it. And especially with her, she needs like someone there with her. The potty training thing is going relatively well. It's only been like time is but an abstract concept right now. It's been like 2 weeks, a week. I don't know. time is time is gone right now. Point is, like, I spend hours with her like every day, and then um she sleeps in a certain part of the house so that I don't have to deal with like her on like in here with more, I don't want to say expensive, but like kind of more expensive things. Like I can't have her chewing on certain things. That's another thing with puppies, is they teeth and they chew on everything. So toys is another expense. Thankfully, again, I already have dogs, and one of them is very lax with the toys, so I can kind of just give her their toys. They don't play with them. But another thing with puppies is bringing them into a house where you already have dogs or where there's children around. Obviously, I didn't have to deal with that, but I did have to deal with the other dogs part. You have to make sure that the other dogs are okay with bringing this dog into their home. Every dog that we've gotten, I've done, well, not every, but most of the dogs I've gotten, I've done meetings. And especially with this new one, we did 2 separate like multi-hour meetings just to make sure that they would combine well and that it wouldn't be like a territorial dispute. Anyway, obviously it went well enough for us to adopt her, but it's a lot more complicated than getting a dog and bringing it home. You have to make sure you have other dogs, they work out together, there's not going to be territorial disputes. that they're not gonna fight each other over, like, bonding. If they bond with certain people and a new dog comes in and that dog bonds with that certain person, are your dogs gonna fight? You have to make sure that you're setting enough time for them. You have to make sure that you can train them. You have to make sure that you have the money set aside to take care of them, because it's not only just the initial shots and grooming that you need to get done, it's for this dog's entire lifetime. And I will say, dogs are very expensive animals. They're not as expensive as, exotic animals, um, or some exotic animals or disabled animals, but they are expensive pets. And like, ear infections can cost, hundreds or even thousands of dollars. You have to keep their nails done and keep those shots up. It's a whole process. Um, I would talk about, like, my favorite breeds of dogs, but I don't really have favorite breeds of dogs. I suppose I'm more of a small dog person than a big dog person, but I have had and do love big dog breeds. Um, I will say one of the most difficult breeds of dogs that I've ever worked with, and one that, like, I kind of clashed with, we had a love-hate relationship, was, I had a husky mix. And huskies are the most energetic, loud, sassy dogs you will ever if you want a husky, patience. Oh my gosh, you have to have bucket loads, storage bins, storage compartments of patience. And they're a lot. They're a lot. They're a lot. They're a lot. And their hair, oh my goodness, if you're getting dogs, just like, I have gotten used to it over the years because I've grown up around pets, I've grown up around dogs, I've grown up around cats, so on and so forth. But, like, having someone who hasn't grown up around dogs walk into our house wearing freaking any color except white, especially black, and then being able to, like, see their, like, face when they see the dog hair is just priceless. Um, it is a lot of dog hair, so, own a good vacuum, I guess, or sweep regularly. I don't know. Obviously, littler dogs, short-haired dogs, they're not gonna shed as much as, like, huskies and bigger dogs, but they still shed. You still need a good vacuum cleaner. Um, I guess my favorite breed of dog, I don't know. Probably a lab, a golden lab. I've had a golden lab mix, and he was the sweetest dog of all time. I mean, that's a bigger dog breed. Smaller dog breeds, I have a Chiweenie, like, currently, and he hates everyone except certain people in my family. So he's cool, I guess. Uh I mean, the new puppy is oh my goodness, she's a pit mix or a full bred pit. I'm not sure. She has the big head and the bulkiness. She looks like a football player. That dog. Oh, and if you're gonna get dogs like that, the drool. So much drool. There are so many dog breeds that drool. I have 2 of them at the drool. It's not a lot. It's not like, I think they're, bull mastiffs, I think, that drool a lot. Those dogs are insane. I don't have that, but I have droolers, and oh my goodness, it gets everywhere. and the water never stays in the bowl. It's a lot of drool. Dogs are messy. So if you're not a messy person, if you're not an energetic person, depending on the dog you get, obviously there are dogs that are not as energetic. My Chiweenie is not energetic. He sleeps so much and has always done that. Anyway, if you're not an energetic person, if you're not a really messy person, if you don't train a dog right, it's just not going to fit with you. I saw videos of dogs not too long ago that, like, somebody had trained, I think it was a pit or a bulldog, that, like, wipes its face after it's done drinking. That is adorable. Adorable. But if you're not gonna train a dog to do something like that, they're gonna be a mess. I mean, I understand cat people when they say that cats are easier to take care of, because yeah, dogs are messy. But the one thing I have over cat people is that I don't have to clean off a litter box. I don't have to smell that. I remember the smell of litter boxes, okay? I had a cat. It was terrible. So, I get that, and my pets actually love me. I have never met a nice cat. Like, ever, actually. Never have I met a nice cat. Like, I've had neighbors that have had cats, I've had friends that have had cats, I've seen outside cats, I've had a cat. None of them are nice. None of them. None of them. And none of them ever care about you. They're like, oh yeah, you feed me. I'll hang around. I'm ranting about cats now. Anyway, yeah, I just kind of wanted to, talk about the reason that the schedule has been shifted so much. Of course, it's gonna shift again soon, in about 2-ish weeks, which is gonna be difficult, but I'm gonna try to work around it. At least I know that shift is coming. This shift was not foreseen. This dog was not on my 2026 bingo card, I guess. It wasn't planned, but it's a welcome addition to the family. Anyway, I've been talking about dogs and kind of ranting for a little bit. Yeah, basically, I don't hate people that go out and buy dogs. I don't hate people that get a dog and then realize that they can't take care of it. I get the circumstances change. I understand that sometimes you just want to buy a dog instead of going to a shelter where you don't know if the dog is going to fit, or you don't know if it's going to be a puppy. Maybe you want to raise the dog. I don't hate people that do that. All of my dogs are rescues simply because that's how I've always done things. That's how my family has always done things. But just before getting a dog, remember how, like, time consuming it is. That's all I'm like trying to push, is just dogs are really time consuming, especially puppies. So be very, very careful when getting a dog. Make sure it's not only the right time for you, but it's the right time for any other pets or family members that you have in the house, and it's the right time for that dog as well. Because you don't want to take in a dog and not be able to take care of it, because having to rehome a dog or give one away can be a very, very difficult decision and a very hard feeling to deal with. But yeah, I just figured I'd talk about dogs because, you know, that's what's been pulling me away from the schedule, is that I have a new dog to take care of, and she's a sweetheart, but she is very time consuming. So I'm trying to stick to the schedule as much as possible, and I will try to do that more throughout these next 2 weeks. That way when the schedule change happens, it's not as aggressive, but we'll see what happens, because of all things, the new dog comes first, so my schedule moves around her for now. Anyway, I'm hoping to get her on a schedule. Okay, anyway, thank you for sitting down, thank you for watching, and thank you for hopefully enjoying as much as I did, and I will hopefully see you in the next one.